old school versus new school marketing in Venezuela. How each one of these philosophies plays out in Venezuela regarding the strategy. Well, today we discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
So today we are going to talk about how marketing works in Venezuela. That I'm not an expert particularly on marketing, but of course I have to rely on good marketing in order to, of course, keep up on my particular endeavors. Now, this is just my opinion, but it's a funny thing compared on how marketing works compared to the rest of the world. The first thing, and this is something I mentioned a lot in Venezuela, is status. So if you want a product and you want to place a product, I'm talking on regarding the consumer behavior, and you want to generate as much status as you can. It could be a fancy service, a fancy product, but also could be a low-end product, something, utilitarian, something that each household has, and still you have to work regarding status, on your strategy, but on a lesser degree, but still status plays an important role. Now, the big question is, which marketing strategy is better within the Venezuelan market? Could be the old school of marketing, with the billboards and radio commercials and TV commercials and that kind of thing, or using basically new digital marketing, social media, websites, that kind of thing. Which one works better in Venezuela? Well, I would say the answer is both, actually. Years ago, I would say just right after COVID. And one of the things that, I flip a switch in me regarding my perspective was seeing these particular old school marketing strategies being applied in many of the household stores that we have throughout the country. And I'm not going to mention because they don't pay me for advertising. Okay, skip it that way. Okay, when I start going to these places and I start seeing these particular marketing strategies applied again and again, for a bunch of companies. And that happened since, let's say, 3 or 4 years ago, just right after COVID. And because those strategies, when they're applied, and like I mentioned previously, those strategies are actually expensive for any particular company or product or provider, and of course a retailer. And in order to be applied, it's because you are very bullish on a particular market. Another thing that I mentioned previously, I mentioned this a bunch of times, is that one of the biggest opportunities that you have in Venezuela is creating market share. So people who are savvy regarding marketing, especially the ones in Venezuela, of course, tied with a very good particular product, good and service. So what they're doing right now, some of them, and a very important cohort of them, are doing aggressive marketing both on the directly to the consumer, on the stores and shopping malls, that kind of thing, but also on social media. They are competing very fiercely because the return regarding the investing on marketing compared to the return on investing of the market share that they can get is huge and is cents on the dollar. Let's just put a random example that is not real. Let's say on a normal scenario, I'm putting here in Venezuela or even another place in Latin America, let's say you invest $1 million on marketing, regardless if it's old school or bad school. Regardless if there is an old school strategy or a digital new age strategy. Could be both. So you spend this particular $1 million and you get, let's say, roughly 1% of the market share. With that $1 million applied in Venezuela on these particular times, you can create actually something like a 5% or 10% of market share for your particular product or service within your industry. And of course, take this particular example with a grain of salt. In marketing, they like to make up a bunch of numbers, statistics, something very subjective, give them objective results, something like that. So if you're in marketing, it is what it is. Okay, nothing against the marketing guys. The main point is that, yes, you can get on cents on the dollar with a decent marketing strategy, you can get and be placed on a particular consumer behavior and also harness a particular market share that could be significant depending, of course, your industry, your product, and so on for the future. Right now, I'm not saying that if you come to Venezuela and do a huge investing, you're going to get it right away. The margins, the profit margins are higher, but also, of course, there are more risks involved. There are less compared to what most people think abroad, but that's for another day. But the main point is that if you do a strategy today, or let's say even people that in companies, of course, that have been implemented a particular strategy, both old school and also new age, they are getting their returns regarding market share, not necessarily on dollars and cents, on the bottom line, on net profit right now, but they are placed in order on the next 5 to 10 years harness that particular market share. And when the Venezuelan GDP can be double easily, at least on the next 10 years, that could be a cheap investment for the long future.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.